Hello everyone! The first video in the Coding Mission Control series is here. In this video, we'll guide you through some basic coding and demonstrate how to run the code. Let's get started. First, you must take the USB cable you got with your kit and prepare your Windows, Mac or Linux computer. Connect Mission Control and go to code.circuitmess.com. If this is your first visit to the site, you'll need to create an account before proceeding. You can either use your email and create a password or just use your Google account. You can also find more detailed instructions on how to use circuit blocks in the caption. Let's begin by exploring the main menu. Here you will find a button for creating a new sketch, and next to it you'll have access to your saved sketches in the future. Scrolling down, you'll see different examples we have prepared for you. At the top of the site, you'll see options to restore firmware and to log out. Let's click on the new sketch. In the device section, you can choose the device you are currently coding. Choose Mission Control and write down buttons and switches as the name of your sketch, as that's what we'll be coding right now. You'll also see the section labeled Editor Type, where you can choose between visual and code. Opting for the visual option allows you to use colorful blocks, while choosing the code option means that you will have to input the code manually, just like the pros. We'll cover only the block coding part. Let's start. Once you open a new sketch, click on the Connect button in the top right corner and select your device from the list. Since your device is still running the stock firmware, you will first need to install MicroPython onto it. Click on the More Info button located next to the message indicating that MicroPython is not installed. A window will appear with the option to install MicroPython onto your device. In this first example, we'll show you how to use the buttons and switches to control the LEDs on your device. Let's quickly go over the block sections we'll use in this example. The loops section will allow us to keep the code running indefinitely by using the loop forever block. The I/O section is used for different inputs and outputs. In this example, we'll use it for 2 buttons and 2 switches. Finally, the time section will allow us to add a time block at the end of our code, which will determine the amount of time that passes before the code runs again. Great! Now let's start coding. First, let's put the When button pressed block and set it to the Pair button. This button will be used to turn on the Pair LED, so put the following block inside it. Great! Now we want this same LED to turn off when the button is released, so put the following blocks. Pressing a button can trigger more actions, so let's turn on 2 LEDs for this next button. Choose the Emergency button and set both the Emergency Left and Emergency Right LEDs to 100 when the button is pressed and to 0 when it's released. Amazing! Now let's do the same for the arm switch and arm unlock LED, and for the light switch and light LED. Finally, we need to add a loop forever block. Whatever we place inside will constantly be checked, and it will ensure proper code execution. You can add the backlight off block as we are now using the display in this example. Make sure to always include the scan buttons block whenever you are using buttons. Finally, you can also add the sleep 20 milliseconds block, which will determine the amount of time that passes before the conditions are checked again. Well done! You're done with coding your first example. Click on the Run button in the top right corner to upload the code to your device. See how the LEDs stay on only while the buttons are being pressed. Now try turning on the arm switch and the light switch. These LEDs stay on without needing to keep your finger pressed on the switch. This is the main difference between buttons and switches. Both can be used to achieve the same effect, but it's more convenient to use each of them for specific cases. If you want to put the stock firmware back onto your device, you can simply go here and click on the Restore Firmware button. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more examples.